I told y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all, don't doubt this Silent Hill 2 remake. I mean, your doubts are were justified. But hey, I've been sitting here for months telling y'all to chill out, relax, it'll be fine. What is up, YouTube? It's your boy SmackNPie here, and previews, early hands-on previews for Silent Hill 2 remakes are out, and I'm gonna be honest with you, even though I was hoping, at the end of the day I was still hoping, right? It's not like I knew it's not like I knew what's actually going to be the full experience of the game. Still, none of us know the full experience of the game. It's still a hands-on preview, but it surprised everyone, including myself, that when the previews came out, literally it was overwhelmingly positive review, and people were calling it what I was hoping that they would call. This is the Capcom treatment for the Silent Hill franchise. This is a proper remake, and the headlines that really caught my attention is that the game is better than you've been led to believe. And some were even saying that the game is better than what we've been seeing in the trailers. And I agree 100%. Some of the trailers were put together in a very weird way. Like some of the angles that were used and some of the way it was put together. Even the gameplay that was, revealed by the VGC exclusively was around 30 minutes. I agree. The doubts and all that. It's one of the most protected and one of the most celebrated games of all time, the Silent Hill 2, so it would just make sense for them to be doubters. But I hope that this continues, and I hope that all the people and critics who have played the game and loved it overwhelmingly, I hope when the full game drops, the ratings are from 8 to 10, hopefully, because this deserves that, that article said this deserves that Capcom treatment, because only if this is successful will we actually get to see Silent Hill franchise thrive and survive. Now let's talk a little bit about the gameplay that we got. I mean, the storytelling, I know there were some people who were like, we still prefer the original one. Of course the original one has its own style, but please, we gotta let the mentality of it will never top the original. Of course, bro. Everybody who's played original, they have their own associations with it, their own memories with it, and every original piece of media, whether it be movie, video game, TV show, it will hold a special place in the viewer's/consumer's heart, right? In consumer's life, memories and whatnot. It'll never be replaced. So you can't expect Silent Hill 2 remake, or any remake for that matter, to come about and replace that experience of yours altogether. And same thing should be said about Silent Hill 2 remake. It is understandable what people say about Bloober team and whatnot, but you gotta give them credit. And I have been saying that if you give them already, complete material and a complete lore and story, that hey, this is what you need to do from A to Z. Now go and do your best. I told you, they killed it, bro. They killed it with the atmosphere. They killed it with the environments. If you look at the way, they handled the fog, oh my god, bro, it just feels like a true next-gen game on top of it being a Silent Hill 2 remake. And the fact that voice acting, and the fact that, from the few cutscenes that we've seen, great job. I was actually getting chills, and I was being reminded of why I loved Silent Hill franchise as a whole. We saw Eddie model, we saw more Maria, we saw Mary. It was a showcase, a true testament to how Bloober team really understood the franchise and what makes Silent Hill 2 in specific, and what makes Silent Hill 2 Silent Hill 2. I love the grunts that James does whenever he stomps on the enemies, whenever he hits them with the freaking wood pipe and pipe in general. The jankiness of the combat is still a bit issue, because you need to find a middle ground for both, because the argument comes when you say the janky combat of the original one. You could say, of course, it is what they were trying to do, the developers, but you gotta find the middle ground between it being too janky for it to kind of, takes away, because we need the smoothness. I'm not asking for Resident Evil smoothness, because if we get the Resident Evil smoothness, we might as well call it a Resident Evil clone or copy. There needs to be some jankiness in terms of how the combat plays, because it is that kind of game. James is not a soldier. He's not Leon, right? He is there desperate, right? At the same time, whilst coping with all that, whilst coping with the fact that, his wife died, what he did, and that now he's here looking for her in this town on his own. Is he crazy? But at the same time, there's a little bit glimpse that keeps him going and helps him tackle all these crazy things. Like, what is this? Nurses attacking in these hotels, in these schools, and there's a fog and things appear out of nowhere. Like, some of these things makes no sense in the grand scheme of things. Trauma, PTSD, that's what we need to show, how James is tackling all that, and that needs to be expressed in the gameplay whilst it, specifically during the combat. So all in all, I think Bloober team has done a phenomenal job, and I hope that whatever they showed, it is improved upon on gameplay specifically, because if you look at the Pyramid Head boss fight, we could do better in terms of animation specifically. Alright, in terms of the enemy's animation, if you look at how Pyramid Head turns around, if you juke him a little bit, we could do a little bit better. From there, I hope the Bloober team learns from Capcom on that matter, how they tackled the Nemesis and Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 and 3, even Lady Demistry from Resident Evil Village. At the very least, if not improving the jankiness of the James character, how about improving the animations of the enemies, right? Other than that, I think variety of animations, of dodging and whatnot, and as well as the normal enemies, such as the nurses and whatnot, I think would help this game sim. I think from what we've seen, I think it would be enough for it to get an 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10. But if you can improve those little subtle things, add more subtle narrative reasons for there to be animations in the combat gameplay, I think it would just make it 10 out of 10 for those who appreciate those kind of things in games like this. If this works, hopefully just give Bloober team the rest of the remakes. They will handle it perfectly. Up next would be Silent Hill 1 remake and then Silent Hill 3 remake. But yeah, we gotta focus on this. This is gonna be the make or break. It is a good start, but remember, the journey is long. There's a lot to be done, there's a lot to do, and yeah. Let me know if the gameplay or the story trailer has changed your mind into how you perceive this remake before, and if it changed, because I know it changed for a lot of people. Main example would be one of our members on our Discord. I have a link in the description. He was a certified hater of both Bloober team and the Silent Hill 2 remake, but now he's come to our side. He's like, hey, my hate was justified, but they have cleared a lot of doubt. There's still some things to do, but they've cleared a lot of doubt. So do you feel and share the same sentiment? If not, let me know down in the comments below. Susu for more 100k. October is gonna be phenomenal. See you in the next one.
See, I'm real.